Hello, my name is Chris and I will be your personal car reviewer for the next few minutes. I reviewed this 2019 Jetta almost a year ago and I am reviewing it again. Sometimes it's interesting to get back into a car, especially after having tried a few of its formidable competitors during the year. Thumbs up to Volkswagen for sending Ross the mid-trim version, a sure sign of confidence in one's products as manufacturers usually send the all-equipped models that very few people buy. Jetta comes in a familiar lineup: base model or comfort line, mid-trim or high line, this model, and the high-level trim, exec line. The base model starts for $20,995 Canadian, and that is quite a deal. You get cruise, air conditioning, CarPlay and Auto, 16-inch mags, heated washer nozzles, LED lights and tail lights, and heated front seats. That is pretty complete, and an 8-speed automatic is available. There is a surprisingly big trunk, and this is one of the roomier compact sedans in the class. I had plenty of room here, very convenient. In front, same story. The Jetta has a roomy driving space which fits the needs of the compact sedan buyer. A familiar ergonomic, no longer the best, but still very good. The materials are highly satisfactory. The interior was refreshed, but it still feels familiar if you've owned a previous Jetta. The steering is also familiar. The seats in this mid-trim are covered in a synthetic leather that feel durable and quite comfortable too. Volkswagen, a German company, focuses on stylized elements, as you can see. These small details add up and keep this compact sedan above average. The rear suspension is not independent, which means you will feel the bigger bumps on Montreal's shitty roads. An added bonus is that Jetta does have a relatively quiet highway drive. I was smitten by Jetta 1 year ago and remain so now. It all works very well together here. It's not a bargain A3 as some say, but it is much better than the previous generation. The base model smacks of tremendous value, and this model has a pretty cool lighting scheme. Another nice touch. Very good Volkswagen. The engine is a star at 1.4 liters, a small turbocharged engine that puts out 147 horsepower and 184 pounds of torque and does 7.8 liters in the city and 5.9 liters on the highway, or 30-40 mpg. Those are excellent numbers. The 8-speed automatic is also high level for the category. Certainly you must test drive this Jetta before buying a competitor. It is very good indeed. Hello car lovers, driving the 2019 Volkswagen Jetta. I reviewed this car a year ago. It's nice sometimes to come back to a vehicle to see, after having driven a few of its competitors, if it's still as good as I thought it was way back when. Okay, we'll start with the exterior styling. I find the exterior styling is very good. If they want a sleek, stylish sedan look, if that's what they wanted, well, they have delivered. I think the lines are conservative. They don't flash out too much, but when you look at it, it does kind of look good. Good job, Volkswagen, on that front. On the inside, what about the ride? It does have a torsion beam in back. There's no independent suspension. Listen, I have to say I cannot complain that much about it. They really worked on it a lot. It's only on the harshest bumps that you feel it. I guess they put the money elsewhere, and that's okay. The quality of the materials are reasonable, I'd say, and there is a general feeling of solidity, sufficiently, I'd say. How does this car drive? How does this car compare with its peers? Well, the engine is a standout, and the transmission is a standout. This engine is a 1.4 liter turbo, and this transmission is an 8-speed. The specs of the engine may not impress in terms of power output, but the advantage of having a turbo versus a non-turbo with the same specs is that between 2,000 and 4,000 RPM, you are getting decent power, whereas the non-turbo version of this type of engine would be lacking in power. So in terms of your everyday driving, it feels more than enough. And also, Ross reports excellent fuel efficiency on the highway, and thanks to this 8-speed transmission, excellent fuel efficiency in the city. So the powertrain is very good. There is a start-stop that I'm noticing, and I don't notice it too much. However, I think start-stop is one of those technologies that sounded like a good idea when they came out with, but in reality, it just goes on and off, and I don't think there's that much of a fuel savings. So is this vehicle recommendable? Yes, it is recommendable. I think it's recommendable on the lease, and with Volkswagens, I've been burnt a little bit in the past recommending Volkswagens to friends. Some have had wonderful experiences, others, check engine lights, low fluids, all kinds of different little things that are not necessarily deal breakers, but are bothersome. I find there's two types of Volkswagen customers. There's the Volkswagen customer who bought his Volkswagen 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago and has 200,000 kilometers on it and has had a wonderful ownership experience with few problems. And there's the other type of Volkswagen owner who has had a bunch of little problems, has been at the garage, and when you go to the Volkswagen dealership, it is always expensive. So I would say the best strategy if you want this vehicle is to lease it. You lease it, and after 4 years, if there are no problems, I think it's a good one, and you can take the buyback. And that's how you own a Volkswagen. So those are my thoughts. By the way, if you like this video, like it. If you don't like it, don't like it. And if you really like it, you should subscribe. And that is the review.